Welcome to week 2 of our Religious Education Prosper Pilgrimage, where this week's character strength is spirituality. This idea of pilgrimage asks each of us to believe that our life is a journey and that we are people of meaning and purpose. I guess for Catholic Christians and people of faith, belief, it can be summed up as who we are is God's gift to us, and who we become is our gift to God. Our identity and soul have been gifted to us by God, and what we do with that gift is ultimately our gift to God. This is the case with all of the strength, but this week's strength of spirituality asks us to reflect on the journey through the lens of that relationship with God. This strength is currently at number 24 across the whole school community, while it's in my top 3, which at first caused me significant pain at the enormity of the challenge of trying to engage in a spiritual journey for each Ionian. This pain was honestly placed into a healthier context by one of my Year 10 students, who indicated that I did not need to worry about it, as I was not responsible for the faith and spiritual journey of each one of you. He believed that this was between him and God. While this is true in a very real way, I also feel that there is a calling from God to guide and to assist, to help you all access a spirituality, so that you can receive the fullest of blessings from knowing that you are loved, lovable, cared for, and have a meaning and purpose in life. So rather than be worried that spirituality is an understanding that needs strengthening, I look at it as a great opportunity for this to be an area of growth, especially at a time that it might offer us all some more hope and capacity to cope with the many tragedies that we've faced and continue to face as a community. There are most definitely times where this strength will need to be accessed in a healthy life, and just as we would seek to strengthen other aspects of our life, like fitness, diet, academic achievement, athletic ability, we need some exercises to draw on to grow this strength. Spirituality, faith, belief, prayer, religious expression and identity are all part of the very nature of Iona and the Catholic Christian tradition, and everyone has a personal invitation into that relationship with God. Some people choose to come here because of these reasons, while others absorb them and find a home in them, and there are others who respectfully choose a different path. All of those journeys are precious and worthy of respect and dignity. For Catholic Christians, spirituality can be understood as a deep human longing to experience the God in our ordinary lives. In other words, spirituality is about putting yourself in the service of something larger than you, and then in an amazing way you discover your truest self while giving it over to this larger thing, God. It's about building a relationship with God that is a lifelong process of transformation. The key is first figuring out where your heart lies. So what do you treasure most in life? Is it relationships, belonging, love, acceptance, trust, family, friends, and school? Is it God, or is it in possessions? Our role as a school is to help you make a life, not just a living. And we're of the belief that spirituality can be an integral part of that healthy life. Everyone has an understanding and ideas of God, even if we're not conscious of it. I think the same is true with our spirituality. Everyone has ideas about it. They think that makes their life meaningful and how they pursue their ultimate goals, but even if they haven't articulated what they exactly mean. Not all of these ways are as helpful as others, and as a school we try and offer an appropriate and helpful pathway for you to navigate your journey or your own pilgrimage that will take place over the course of your wonderful life. As an oblate school, St. Eugene de Mazenod founded the Oblates with a spirituality that leads to Jesus. In this spirituality, St. Eugene invites us to learn who you are in the eyes of God, and that learning will hopefully lead to the realization that we have a dignity and that we're loved by God. Oblate spirituality, and therefore Iona spirituality, are grounded in community, loyalty, passion and daring, and that spirituality is both active and reflective. It's always looking for ways to include others who've been left out, and it particularly sees them with a wonderful dignity. It's this spiritual call to action for the abandoned, the poor, the marginalized, that links us with Jesus and His ministry of care and service. It has the cross of Jesus as its central message, and this cross is a means of hope for the world, demonstrating that we are lovable and loved. The oblate spirit, inspired by St. Eugene, was essential in the founding of Rosie's, which seeks to offer friendship, love, connection, belonging, and purpose to those who've been left out. This spirituality is even more needed now than ever, that we've endured periods of isolation and exclusion as a result of the COVID-19 virus. Rosie's is a living, breathing example of oblate spirituality in the modern world, and so are we at Iona. The Rosie's prayer, "O Jesus, make our hearts so human that others may feel at home with us. So like yours, that others may feel at home with you. So forgetful of self, that we might simply become the place where you and they meet in the power of your love and the joy of your friendship. Amen." Our role as a school is to work together with your parents to continually invite you to see your best selves and that you are loved by God and called to make a positive spiritual and practical difference to the world. Our school community is no better or worse than any other school community, but we do believe we have an identity that is spiritually unique and that is close to Jesus and people in need. Our spirituality at Iona is to be a good Christian neighbour to all of our community, to have the college be active participants in the growing that this Bayside community could have positively and safely. It sees us in close relationship with our local schools, police, ambulance, politicians, and community groups. This spirituality is in our DNA and it drives us to each initiative. We're also called Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate, and Mary is the core part of our oblate spirituality. Mary was the first person to receive Jesus and then share Him with the world. She did this when she became His mother, and she is a role model of discipleship for oblates and for all Ionians. At the moment, we are in the midst of deep and sustained sadness, and as a community, we are relying on many strengths to navigate our way through. Spirituality offers us an invitation to seek support and help from God through faith alongside counselling and professional helps. The prayers, daily masses, Oblate Mission Action Day, mission outreaches, community engagement are all invitations for you to keep working on that wonderful gift of your life. Spirituality of hope and belonging and love are definitely Oblate, Catholic, and Christian values. I sincerely ask you to consider what you treasure most in your life. Most people say you only live once, but what is true is that you only die once. We're actually called to live each and every day. If spirituality is a strength that you know needs more practice and preparation for your life, then I sincerely ask you to accept the many invitations for faith expression at Iona and also the wider Catholic parish communities and the wider traditions as well. How can we figure out our own spiritual journey? Where do we put our energy and our time? Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be." So what do you treasure most and why? Part of what you treasure involves your time and your energy and your thoughts. For lots of people, their career might be their idol or their God without them even realizing it. They may think they have to offer spiritual priorities, but they're not living up to Christ's words in the Gospel. If you say that I want to know God a bit more, but are unwilling to pray, then that's a great abstraction, but it's certainly not part of your spiritual life. But if you realize that what you want in life, you can figure out when you do that with God, what to do next. If what you treasure is a vision of justice, but you're unwilling to invest yourself in the work, that's another clue that your spiritual life doesn't line up with what you think it is. On the other hand, you could discover just the opposite. You could, in fact, be following your passion unwittingly. Unknowingly, you could be realizing that this is your way to God and how you engage God. There are people all over the world who are doing unbelievable things all the time without even knowing what they are. And that's just where their heart is. If you can articulate that for yourself, if you can help see that you're holier than maybe you thought you were in a wonderful, true way, this strength is one that is worthy of your efforts. You are lovable and loved, and your best days are ahead of you. Take care, God bless, be spiritually fit. Kia kaha. Thank you.